Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing well. So we've seen a dramatic decline in the price of Bitcoin in the last 24 hours. And is this the biggest bull trap crypto's ever seen? And there's blood on the streets. Obviously, a pullback is always expected and it's healthy. But look at this. So why Bitcoin has suffered a sharp pullback from the record highs and what might happen next. And I think this article in the Sky News is pretty much what people want to discuss. So I'm going to take a few points and I'm going to show you what I'm doing with my own crypto strategy. And shout out to the Patreons, by the way, who are getting on with it. But let's have a look at this. So there's a certain level of fear out there in the market. And whatever retail thinks, retail is always wrong. That's a fact. Whatever retail thinks, we are always wrong, and we're always chasing the direction of the market, often making, costly mistakes, and you've got to be prepared for that. So whilst accumulation is happening right now, and we've done several buy alerts on DCA and plans and seeing where Bitcoin is right now, it's also important to discuss the overall situation of the market we find ourselves in, making new all-time highs. And there are two main factors here. One is ultimately people take profits, right? Bitcoin is at all-time high, and that makes an impact to the price of Bitcoin. Fine, that's a sell-in. Now, what we know so far is the absorption rate of Bitcoin has been record-breaking. So whenever there's a sell-off, it immediately bounces back. And this is a new phenomenon, never seen before, due to the ETFs and the halving. Because the ETFs normally, the spot ETF has completely changed the game for us, where there is even a speculation whether we could have a normal Bitcoin price that is linked to the global macro events, and then we've got an altcoin top and a bottom. Now, obviously, most of us are playing in the altcoins, so we want to know what to do with our bags, whether to protect our bags, whether to deploy our stable coins, whether to move into stable coins, or whether to continuously buy and hope that we find support around these levels and we go up from there in the halving. I've always predicted March to be somewhat tough. March has been absolutely flying, and now we're moving to the halving. So the two factors are obviously taking profits, and the other one here is the potential interest rates cut in the US. And we go on to it. We know it's only a 9% drawdown, right? Now, expectation would have been earlier on to have a healthy 30% pullback. If you remember a few months ago, we all wanted to see that level that was around the $30,000 Bitcoin. And it hasn't happened. So where are we now? Now we're at $68,000, and that's obviously a 9% drawback. Great. For most of the old buyers, this is good. It's good to see the red days. However, is there something more sinister happening? So yesterday, we had a 74K, and obviously it's kind of difficult to say what the overall situation is, but definitely this would be a factor in the overall strategy moving forward. How do we play this? And whenever Bitcoin draws down, even at 9%, you can see alts are now doing at least 20% across the board, 15 to 20% drawdown, and your bags are a lot smaller this morning. Now, taking profits is unbelievable, especially with BTC. That's 175 in the last 12 months percent. Okay, so it's understandable. However, is there something more sinister happening? And I think the Fed has been quite friendly so far. And are we going to see potentially Bitcoin entering a new downward trend, potentially a 50% drawback? We absolutely don't know. But what I do know is Bitcoin, the RSI is at the bottom. It looks like it's going to cross up again and it's going to move back up. But yeah, it's a consideration for your bags. Now, if you remember, every time Bitcoin now comes into the market, it's getting slapped. People are buying it. Institutions are buying it. You've got BlackRock. So the world's largest asset manager is running that ETF now, which is about 15 billion in terms of funds flowing into it. But what I would say is there's other news as well. You've got UK regulation on cryptocurrency being stepped up, and this is to combat money laundering and in the form of NFTs. But it's been very tough across some European jurisdictions, especially the UK. And could we go back to those darker days where we had the consideration for, those really tough days where we had the SEC and that new European body for crypto tightening laws? We're not sure, but all we can do is to prepare our bags and really stay the course. Now, a drawback is absolutely positive for us, as you would see in a minute, because overall we're able to get in again. But the confusion right now is, where is Bitcoin? And you can see here we've obviously come down. Now, in my opinion, if we do have a drawback that is more extensive than this, then we might be looking around that $50,000 mark, 52,000 maybe, somewhere here. This is where I think we will bottom out. Now, is that a massive problem for the alts? Well, absolutely, because your current bags will massively bleed. I mean, we're looking at, what is that? Possibly a 23% drawdown for Bitcoin from where it was. I mean, or even if you take it further up, it'll be slightly more. So that's why your favorite cryptocurrencies have all been bleeding right now. And today I picked up some kaspa around this price at $12 cents on that wick. So I bought that, and I think, look, since then it's made a reaction, and I'm glad I jumped into that. Bought a small bag, but everything else is very good right now. GT Protocol is basically, I mean, I was hoping that it heads to this 618. You can see it's kind of bouncing off this level here. Is it a good buy right now? Potentially, but there could be more discounts on the way. And then if you look across, mint layer is absolutely smashed to smithereens. I would definitely add to the bag. Have added yesterday as well. And beyond this level, I mean, what do we see here? This is a level from, where do we see that going from here? I mean, if you look at this, yeah, it could be a nice level to DCA into. Another one that I've been kind of buying, and you can see my levels here, is Manta. Ultimately, Manta wicked down to this below $3, but it's a good place where it is right now. And I think this was always my ultimate target box. It nearly came to it. Not too bad, but would we see more downside potentially there? And if you look at Chirply right now, I mean, it's a smaller coin, hasn't been, 50% retracement. I think it will bounce off there. Another one that's been bleeding is Zeta. Again, I shared this with the community earlier on, and it kind of came down to the 786, and you can see right now this is well below $1. Well below the $3, and I would definitely consider just taking small nibbles. And you can see, look, there's discounts everywhere. Myria is another one that literally could come down slightly lower, perhaps under the 1 cent. Shrapnel, I mean, there's discounts everywhere, and I would consider just holding back and deploying capital wisely at this point, because I don't know if some people are suggesting we move into stables, and I don't see nothing wrong with that. Having said that, we just don't know if this is a trap or this is a genuine drawback. As you can see here, AI Tech, which is absolutely moved since my call here at 13 cents, and we got into this around the 5.5, sorry, just under 6 cents. So yeah, there's discounts everywhere. This is now moved well below my price targets, and I picked up some more. I picked up another $1,000 of Lithium. Another interesting one here is AGI, and you can see here AGI really kind of around these levels, kind of marked that white line before as a potential interest where the price will most react, and it has. So yeah, Bitensor came all the way down to about the 560 level, and then obviously pushed back up. Now it's around this 610 level. You can see here there was a price target over there. OTK, again, maybe we're gonna see this 6 cents revisited again. Perhaps maybe the price could move here and then move down further. GFAL is actually held up quite nicely. If there's any potential drawback from there, I would probably see GFAL coming here to that 50% retracement from the recent upward trend. G-Swift is a really good buy at the moment. And you can see here, you know, I've had that predetermined box. It's almost there, but you know, it's kind of like moving back up a bit. But yeah, just watch these prices. And this is across, you know, Claw. You can see here, Claw is a buy at this 29-cent level. It's also a buy where it is right now. I think that's a decent retracement for on that 618. Layer AI, again, this is it's going to hopefully move down a little bit more, but you can see here there's a bit of momentum, but I'm expecting this to come down to this 6 cents. Yeah, Dex check, and everything is kind of moving down at the moment. Dex check again, 618. Could we see Dex check coming back to that 10 cents mark? And yeah, several of our key kind of buy orders have been hit, and I can only see the market absolutely swimming like this for a bit. Core for under $1. I think that's a pretty decent, solid crypto that will potentially move up. And then you've got OPSEC, which is absolutely under the $2, which is a really good buy at the moment. And then of course this one that's just come out that has literally been tearing up. And this meme coin is refusing to go below $1. So you can see here, look, there's opportunities, but the main fear right now is this what to expect before the halving? I'm watching the charts with great interest. We have the US election later on the year. We've got the halving imminent, and Bitcoin has already run up a new all-time high. So look, for those of you who haven't deployed your dry powder, do it wisely, I would say. And for the others who are in positions thinking about selling now, look, I don't advise selling crypto in this type of climate because the market could equally go the other way, right? But what I have noticed is some bearish signs that could potentially give us more of a drawdown. So if, let's say, for example, you've got $1,000 to deploy, deploy that wisely, deploy it systematically, you know, buy the dips like we've had, try to catch these wicks, set your limit orders according to the charts. And yeah, best of all, you know, most of all, I wish you all the best in terms of just staying really positive now. We've called for a red market and we're getting it. And I think, look, retail again doesn't determine where things go. Sometimes we're played in the open field by institutions. And yeah, for all those people that think we're going to go straight to 1 million on Bitcoin, well, we need to just think about our alts for now. But yeah, big up, special thank you to all of those guys who support us. If you want to be part of our Patreon group, yeah, do so. Just $9 a month on the basic tier. If you want to meet me in Dubai, the VIP tier, that's $99. But yeah, overall, my message to you is just be very careful, buy wisely. The overall education here is you absolutely know now what moves and what doesn't, right? So from your strategy, you should be able to have some core convictions, some core projects that you absolutely believe in. And these core projects should be able to see you through. And in my opinion, I think there's something in every single portfolio, from the tier one to the lowest kind of investment levels that you can make. And obviously, we talk about unreleased crypto projects, when to buy, when to sell, when to take profits. We look at the charts. We do a lot of things in our Patreon group, and you can find the link in the description. What I would say, though, is it's really scary out there now, and a lot of investors are super afraid, but stick with it. We've seen worse. We've been there on the SBF. We've been there at the Terra Luna crash. We've been there. We've seen Bitcoin at much lower levels. Initially, my expectation from 50K was that we go back down to about 32,000 as a healthy retracement, and then we look towards the upside, and then obviously consolidate above the 50K before the halving. But the ETFs have changed that. The ETFs have absolutely changed that. So while I remain optimistic, and while I remain very, very happy of the accumulation phase that we went through, I also understand retail has not been perhaps maybe taking profit. Retail has been consuming a lot of ETF related information by big institutions. And that all indicates something to me, that is, if we get manipulated in this, a lot of people will be shaken out of their positions, one. And two, this is why it's important to mix your portfolio so you have top rated cryptocurrencies that you know will move, and you then split. I mean, I don't really so far look at the middle side. So if you think of cryptos as top, middle, and bottom, if you look at the top 100, for example, let's have a look. Let's look at the let's look at the crypto bubbles, because you're gonna see crypto bubbles. You're just gonna see the level of red, which is, well, for me, look, if you look at the top 100, there are stuff here. I mean, almost everything is pretty much bleeding. At that 10% discount across the board. But these are the top 100 cryptocurrencies. So you expect the losses here to be held up. And what are we looking at? We're looking at big projects like, so 1 to 100. So you're looking at, look at these. I mean, you've got all of the big tokens here on the discount, and with the exception of Solana here and a few others, Fetch AI. But overall is 10%. But as you move into the top kind of 500, you start to see the losses are slightly more than that, 10%, 16%, 11, 20%. And this is where retail normally is buying the low cap gems, right? 20% here, 40, some of them are up, but 20% across the board. And this is how you have to think. If you're holding kind of all your cryptocurrencies are from the top, within that top 1,000 by market cap, then you start to see your losses are a lot more magnified, right? A lot more magnified than the bigger cryptocurrencies. So play your portfolio wisely. If something is in $1 billion market cap and you want to have a 20x, and you've obviously done the research for that project, by all means hold it. It just means you can actually throw a bit more money to it. And over here, you play with less of your money in the top 1,000, and you obviously high risk, high reward here. You will see 35%, 20% meme coins. You see other projects that are super bleeding. So listen, it's just an advice from me, but make sure you hold a level of stable coins that will see you take advantage of any further drawbacks, because I can tell you now, if this continues, your portfolio will shrink in size. All right, guys. God bless you all, man. Have a wonderful Friday, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.